Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over this great email that was sent from a subscriber. This guy, he is 26 years old. He's been following the channel, I guess, for a few months now. And his eyes have been open to how things really are in the world with regards to relationships and all that with the gals. And you're going to see, guys, in his story here, thanks to the channel and all you guys out there that comment regularly, has really helped him dodge a big one with his former girlfriend. You're going to see in this story, guys, that he was with this girl for about 2 years, 2.5 years, and he said he had a good thing going. They had a good time together and all that. But then, thanks to the channel, what he's learned here, major red flag was revealed about her and her views and things like that that ultimately had him breaking up with her. To which point she had a complete, literally psychotic meltdown over the whole thing, because pretty much saying that all men are the same and stuff like that. But you're going to see, guys, again, how so important it is to trust your gut, pay attention to red flags, and if you have serious difference on views and things like that, you have to really question when you want to be in a relationship with someone. This is, of course, for you relationship guys. And this guy, it's going to be around the subject of cheating. And you're going to see in this story here about her attitude towards that. And I've told you a lot of times, guys, that if a woman thinks that cheating isn't a big deal and you're in a relationship with her, you need to end it like that. You need to run like your butt is on fire, because if her attitude that cheating isn't a big deal, or just the guy should just forgive the woman and let it go or something like that, she's going to do it. And, of course, lessons about paying attention to a girl's family, what they're like, because that could impact you down the road if you stay with her long enough. But anyhow, guys, I don't want to say too much here. It's quite good. And by the way, he is also at the end going to be looking for advice, not just from me, but also you guys. So we're going to have some audience participation today. So follow to the end and definitely comment away, because he's looking for help to make sure that he did the right thing. But it's a real good story, and this guy's a boss. So it starts off, he says, hello, SSM. I've been watching your videos for a few months now, and after hearing some of them, my mindset has changed significantly. Not so much that I disagree with you and what has been shown in your stories. It's mostly hearing things that I've never heard before. It's kind of like seeing something for the first time, and when you've seen the truth, it's hard to continue lying to yourself. What made it worse was I had no idea I was lying to myself. Something my mom told me once explained how I'm feeling about it. She said, "How do you know what you don't know until someone tells you?" So in other words, he's kind of describing like the scene in The Matrix when the blue pill, red pill thing. Take the blue pill, go back to pretty much seeing the world as you saw it, which is a big lie. Or take the red pill and your eyes are going to reveal everything in the truth and you're never going to see things the same again. Well, this guy started taking the red pill. And I can't say that too much because YouTube's psycho about that word or that term. He says, anyway, my story isn't very long or epic, but I took the lessons I've learned from your channel to heart and have started to apply them in my own life. You and your community have made a difference, so thank you all. Glad to help, bro. That's why I'm here. And again, this is why the community's here. I recently broke up with my girlfriend of 2.5 years. And while it sucks, I think I made the right choice. I'll let you be the judge of that. Maybe it was a mistake, but my gut is telling me it was the right thing to do. If your gut is telling you it's the right thing to do, then your gut is telling you the truth. I'm 26 years old, and my now ex-girlfriend, we'll call her Tammy, is 25. I thought we had a pretty good relationship, and while there weren't any problems in our relationship, I found out that our worldviews were just not compatible. This all happened about a month ago, and I'm still trying to get over everything, and Tammy is still trying to get me to talk to her. I need some advice on that, but I'll ask at the end. It was about 2 months ago when Tammy came home from work, and it was clear that she had been crying. I was a bit alarmed and asked her what was going on. She started crying again and then told me that her parents were getting divorced. That they had been married for almost 30 years, and I was pretty shocked to hear that. I always thought they had a good marriage. I mean, they never looked blissfully happy, but I thought they treated each other with respect, and every time I had been around them, they seemed to like each other. I just figured that was such a long marriage. I just figured that's what such a long marriage would look like. You know, like when you go to the store and see couples walking around and doing their shopping. You can usually tell who the married couples are by the look on the guy's face. If you see a man and woman walking in the store and he looks like he's being waterboarded, you can bet they are married. That's what my dad always told me, and he was right. Yeah, guys, you can go out and pick out a married couple like that. Because, yeah, you do see the guys look like they've had the life sucked out of them. They look like zombies. And even better, or not better, but even worse, is you go out and you see families, like a mom and a dad and a couple little kids. And almost always, and I'm sure you guys have observed this in your travels, you'll see how like the mom is leading, and then she has a stroller or one kid on her, and there's another kid behind it, and dad is walking behind, and she's leading the show and all that, and he has this defeated, drained look on his face, like he hasn't slept in years. And typically she's overweight and he's overweight, and sadly nowadays the kids are overweight, and everybody's miserable. I mean, it really is a sad situation. Or you go to restaurants and you see a married couple out there and they're not talking to each other. They're both looking at their phones and not saying a thing. And I don't mean like one person's looking at the phone, say they're planning a trip and they're researching airfare or something or hotels and talking about it. I'm talking, they're not saying anything. And back in the old days, you'd see a couple sitting there, each reading the newspaper while they're out to eat or reading a book. And just that look, and it's like, it's everywhere. So who the hell would want to subject themselves to that shit? But it's not all married couples. There are some on occasion that actually do have a good thing going, actually are still attracted to each other and love being around each other, but it is rare, especially nowadays. Remember that, guys. For you guys who want to do relationships and marriage one day, that could be you. Anyway, he says, I asked her what happened, and she said that her dad filed for divorce and was overreacting because he didn't even try to work things out with her mom. I asked, what was he overreacting about? And she said that her mom made a mistake and he wasn't being fair. Notice she's avoiding the reason why dad is divorcing mom. It was like pulling teeth. I told her what she was saying wasn't answering my question and didn't make any sense. What was the mistake? She said her mom had an affair with someone she worked with, but it was a mistake, and now her dad is refusing to go to counseling and try to work things out with her mom. Doesn't sound like he's making a mistake to me. Sounds like her dad is handling the way I would recommend he handle it. Mom's having an affair and it's a mistake. That's a well planned out thing. That's not a mistake. She made a choice. End of story. I was stunned, but I didn't really have any advice. I did the only thing I could think of. I tried to comfort her while she was going through her emotions. Well, you're her boyfriend, and up until this point, you had a good thing going, so okay, you're comforting her. I get that. We haven't gotten down to the ugliness yet. It was the following weekend that we visited her parents' house. It was as uncomfortable as anything I've ever done before. Her mom was in the kitchen crying with Tammy trying to comfort her, and her dad was down in his man cave watching TV. I wanted to give Tammy and her mom some space, and I liked her dad. I went down to tell him how I'm sorry that the marriage was breaking up, and hoped that he was going to be okay. I'm not sure if he was angry or sad. He looked at me like he always did. We made small talk for a little while before I told him I was sorry about what was going on. He looked at me for a minute before he started laughing, and that confused me, and it made me feel a little foolish. This is most of what he said to me as far as I can remember. Now listen to this, guys. He says, don't worry about it, kid. She's been cheating on me for a few years, so it really wasn't a surprise. I'll be fine. I would have divorced her a long time ago, but I needed to get my finances in order, so I wasn't going to get raked over the coals. Her dad actually said this. I'm really starting to wonder if her dad watches this show. If you're out there, if you watch my show and you're the daddy I'm talking about in this story here, email me. I want to hear your story. And that was all he had to say about it. I was completely stunned, and now I felt like I was invading his private space, so I told him I was still sorry and that it was happening before I went back upstairs. Okay, so he's known that she's been cheating on him for years, and he was quietly planning things with the finances and all that for his perfect moment to kick her ass to the curb. Way to go, Dad. But of course, he's the bad guy in his daughter's eyes because he won't try to work it out, even though the wife is a lying, cheating, let's be honest, W-H-O-R-E. But he's the bad guy because he's ending it. Because he won't try to work on it and go to marriage counseling where the marriage counselor will likely try to convince him to stay with her. Even though that would only communicate to her that you could do anything to this guy and he'll stick around. I was almost back to the kitchen and heard Tammy and her mom talking about how unfair her dad was being, and that stopped as soon as I walked in. I knew one thing for sure. I didn't want to be in the middle of any of that mess and was feeling uncomfortable, so I told Tammy I was going back to the apartment and to call me when she needed a ride. It's one thing to visit someone's family, but I do not want to be involved in their drama. Yes. Now let's look at this situation when I talk about paying attention to what your girlfriend or whatever's family is like. This is important for you relationship guys, because if she comes from a family with a bunch of drama, or if the family that mom and dad don't love each other very much, or there's cheating going on, and the attitude towards that, that's going to impact you. So right here, we're starting to see that his girlfriend doesn't think cheating is so much of a big deal that the dad should give the mom a second chance, and sees the mom as the victim, not the other way around. So is this someone you want to be in a relationship with? Because it's only a matter of time before, let's just say she's not happy how your relationship's going. So she'll go cheat herself because, well, that's what my mom does, and this guy should just forgive me. Major red flag, major important thing to observe about the family dynamic. It continues. Tammy said she was going to go spend the night at her parents' house so she and her mom could talk to her dad. So I left and went home. It was in the afternoon the next day that she had called for me to come and pick her up. And when I got there, it was obvious that she and her mother had still been crying. How much tears do they got in reserve to keep crying all the time? Good Lord. Her dad wasn't home. After saying goodbye to her mom, we went back to our place. Tammy was being pretty quiet, and I didn't know what to say to help her, so I just stayed quiet as well. It was about when we were eating dinner that night that she started talking about how her dad was being an a-hole and destroying their family. I asked her what her dad told me was true about her mom cheating on him for years, and what she said blew my mind. Now listen to this. This is Tammy, his girlfriend's response. She says, and he quotes, "It was only sex. My mom loves him and he isn't willing to go to counseling to work things out with her. He's being selfish." She's claiming that her mom loves her dad. You don't cheat on someone and hook up with other dudes if you're in love with the guy. Okay? Bullshit. And that he's being selfish. How about her mom? You see how they all stick together? You see what her attitude is? At this point, this guy should be kicking her out, or at least heading for the hills like his butt's on fire, because this is her attitude. This will be you one day if you stay with her when things don't start going well in the relationship according to her. This is how she sees this is okay. I knew I was treading on thin ice, but I asked her if she thought that cheating was okay before I even realized the words are out of my mouth. She said, "Of course not, but it was a mistake." She said her dad owed it to her mom to try and work things out with her, and she would have never cheated on him if he had been the husband he should have been. Oh, so here we go. It's not the mom's fault for the cheating. If the dad had been a better man, and whatever that's supposed to mean, then she wouldn't cheat. But he made her cheat. Therefore, he's the a-hole. And how dare he walk away from the family because the mother's the victim, not him. Bullshit. Can't make this shit up, guys. I think this is why so many of you guys like this channel, because you hear these real stories that are sent in from people all over the world, and this just backs up the views that you guys have, that I have, and all that, and really helps reveal reality. Can't make this shit up. It continues. He says, I told her that cheating on her dad for years wasn't a mistake. It was a choice, and she blew up on me and stormed into the bedroom and slammed the door. Little drama queen. Remember how he said for 2.5 years they've been together, they had a really good thing going? This is another example, guys, why I tell you need to be with a girl for years before you consider getting married. Because right here, first 2.5 years, things are great. And then he sees a real life situation get involved and seeing how she reacts and what she's really like and what her real views are like. Right there. This told him everything he needs to know about her. Imagine if this didn't happen and he married her and then saw her view on this very important thing. That's why any of you guys that rush into marriage or frankly a serious relationship and move in with your girl too quickly, you're only asking for trouble. I'm not going to lie. I felt like I was in the middle of a bad trip. It was that story you did recently about the blue-haired mom that was crazy that made me want to send in my story. Something about the mom and the daughter holding similar views. Now that I knew that Tammy didn't see cheating as a deal breaker, I realized I couldn't have a more serious relationship with her, but I did love her and decided to give it a few more days to see if it was her emotions that were making her say what she said. Smack! No, it wasn't just her emotions. This is what she thinks. This is her real view on things. Send her packing, dude. The next couple of weeks didn't get any better. Shocker. Tammy would start crying out of the blue and start talking about how horrible her dad was and try to paint her mom as the victim. It was clear at that point that our worldviews simply didn't match up. If she was willing to accept her mom cheating on her dad and paint him as a bad guy, there was no doubt that she didn't see cheating the same way that I did. Yes, and that would be you one day. The second you weren't being enough of a man for her, the same thing would happen to you because she learned from her mother. And this is what family life is like, in her opinion. Only a matter of time. And of course, you would be the bad guy, even though she cheated. So, it was about a month ago that I did one of the most difficult things I've ever done. I sat Tammy down after dinner and told her I didn't think we were right for each other, and I broke up with her. She freaked out on me and started screaming that all men are the same. Where have you heard that before? I didn't want to fight with her, and honestly, I was as heartbroken as I've ever been, but if she could accept that kind of behavior from her own mother, there was no chance I would risk a serious relationship with her. She ended up leaving the apartment and went to her parents' house. The only saving grace was that the apartment and all the bills were in my name. Well, thank the Lord. It's your place and she has no claim to it, so you can have her leave. I'm sure that was hard because you had a good thing going with her, but thank the Lord you found the channel and listened to all these stories, and you found yourself in one of these stories. You did the right thing. I know you're wondering, but yes, you did the right thing. So, that was about a month ago. We've been packing her things out of the apartment since then, and she's tried to apologize for what she said, but I just can't see myself in a serious relationship with someone that would call cheating for 2 years a mistake. Yeah, that's not a mistake. That is a well, carefully planned and plotted thing. And I love what her dad, he just is like, okay. He knew what was going on, and he just bided his time for the right minute. Now he's kicking her ass to the curb. Boo-hoo. And notice now, when she got caught, the mother got caught cheating, she wants to work on the marriage, and she's crying, right? Why doesn't she just go be off with her affair partner? Probably because the Chad and Tyrone dude she's sleeping with wants nothing to do with her. Her dad called me and asked what was going on and said that she was just being emotional and that I should give her another chance. But I just can't do that. Smack to her dad. What do you mean give her another chance? She's behaving just like his wife. That man has the patience of a saint. Here he is being painted as the villain in his own life, and he's still concerned about his daughter's happiness. A daughter that holds him in contempt, it's just crazy. Yeah, that's not just a patience of a saint, that's white knight bullshit. On to my question. As far as I know, Tammy has never done anything to break my trust, but when she told me her views on how she sees cheating, my gut was telling me to run and run fast. Did I make the right decision? I'll admit that I'm not 100% certain. Any advice would be welcome, SSM. Brother, you handled this like a boss. You absolutely made the right decision, okay? And I'm pretty sure that 99.999% of all the dudes that are going to watch this will agree with me. You handled this like a boss. I'm proud of you. You did a great job. You just watched this channel for a few months. And through the knowledge you gained and plus your own life experience, you came to that something was wrong. You 100% did the right thing, okay? Because this would have been your situation down the road. And as for your question of not really sure if she ever cheated on you, well, given the fact of her attitude towards cheating, you never know. She could have or not. I don't know. But I can tell you one thing, that if eventually you stayed together and you started behaving in a way that she felt like she was being neglected, or you weren't being the same type of guy that she fell for, or some reason to make an excuse to cheat, she'd do it. Why? Because right there she revealed her hand on cheating. So bro, you did the right thing, and you need to follow through this. Of course you're second guessing yourself a little bit. You're human. You spent a couple of years with her. But no, you need to stick with your guns here. Have her pack her shit and get out of your house as soon as possible, okay? Because the longer her stuff is there, she's going to keep coming back and crying and apologizing and just hoping to wear you down, that you change your mind and give her another chance, okay? This is a deal breaker, okay? This is, again, why you spend years with someone to get to know them. And that way then, when there's just irreconcilable differences, whatever it happens to be, because otherwise, you can end up marrying her. You never know. It could have happened. And that would be your marriage. It'd be like a total reflection of what her mom and dad is. And I don't want that to happen to you or any other poor guy out there to have that happen. So you did the right thing, man. So guys in the audience, type away. Let this guy know he did the right thing. And also encourage this guy, get her shit out of his apartment quick and cut off ties, okay? I would at this point tell her, like, and obviously you don't have to be screaming at each other and everything, just as best possible, be amicably just say it's not going to work out, and I appreciate we need some time to obviously move on and all that, so I appreciate you wouldn't contact me, blah, blah, blah. And if she's not willing to listen to your request to give you space, leave you alone, then you got to block her. But it doesn't sound like she's giving you reason to block her just yet in social media, phones, and all. But if it comes to that, then yes, absolutely. And you need to move on. End of story. And now you have gained this wisdom. This will help you move forward in future dating and relationships and all that. And your story, mark my words, will help out other dudes out there all over the world. By you sharing this story, man, you're going to help guys that you never will ever meet, you could ever imagine. That's what's so cool about you dudes saying your stories. I love it, and I really appreciate it. So, guys, comment away. Let this guy know what you think. Let him know that he did the right thing so he doesn't, in a moment of weakness, screw up and hook up with her and give her a second chance. We don't want that to happen. So, all right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. I said that. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.